This is USA News Hub, United States, the heart of American sports. Subscribe for power, passion, and champions. She was just 2 games away from victory. 2 games away from history. 2 games away from a dream clash with Coco Gauff. But in a shocking twist at the Australian Open, Venus Williams saw everything slip away. How did a double-break lead turn into a heartbreaking loss? Why won't we see Venus Williams versus Coco Gauff in Melbourne? This is not just a match recap. This is a story of ambition, emotion, age, legacy, and heartbreak. Stay with us. The Australian Open has always been a stage for unforgettable moments. Records are broken here. Legends are born here. And sometimes, hearts are shattered here. The 2026 Australian Open, one of the most emotional and dramatic stories unfolded on Rod Laver Arena, starring none other than Venus Williams, a name that defined women's tennis for more than 2 decades. United States Venus Williams returns to Melbourne. At 45 years old, Venus Williams returned to the Australian Open singles draw with a wild-card entry, instantly capturing global attention. Ranked world number 576, the 7-time Grand Slam champion arrived in Melbourne not as a favorite, but as a symbol of resilience, inspiration, and unfinished business. Across the net stood Olga Danilovic, the 68th ranked Serbian player, younger, faster, and considered the logical choice to advance. But tennis is not played on paper. Vintage Venus moment. From the very first game, Venus Williams showed she was not in Melbourne just to participate. She broke Danilovic immediately. She took a 2-0 lead. Her powerful serve echoed through the stadium. Her footwork, though slower, was deliberate and confident. Danilovic responded and managed to break back, but the momentum remained with Venus. The first set turned into a tense battle of nerves. A 5-4, Venus had a set point on Danilovic's serve but failed to convert. Yet, she stayed calm, like only a champion can. The set went into a tiebreak. Danilovic raced ahead to a 5-2 lead. The crowd grew silent. Then, Venus Williams flipped the switch. She won 5 consecutive points. Controlled aggression. Perfect placement. Mental toughness. Backhand index pointing right. Venus Williams wins the tiebreak 7-5 first set score. Venus Williams 7-6, 5. For a moment, time stood still. It felt like 2005 again. Momentum shifts. But tennis is brutal in its honesty. The second set was a completely different story. Danilovic raised her level significantly. She attacked Venus's movement. She extended rallies. She forced errors. Danilovic broke Venus early and never looked back. Venus did not earn a single breakpoint in the entire set. Backhand index pointing right second set. Danilovic 6-3. The match was going to a deciding third set. A match turned into a tragedy. This is where the match transformed from competitive tennis into pure drama. Venus Williams came out firing. Immediate break. Another break. Suddenly leading 4-0. The impossible suddenly looked inevitable at this point. Venus needed just 2 games. She had a double break advantage. The crowd sensed history. And perhaps most importantly, backhand index pointing right, the tennis world began dreaming of Venus Williams versus Coco Gauff. Glowing star, the match we never got. Venus versus Gauff. When the Australian Open draw was released, one matchup instantly stood out. World number 3 Coco Gauff versus her childhood idol Venus Williams. Coco Gauff has often credited Venus and Serena Williams as the reason she picked up a tennis racket. Fans imagined mentor versus student, legend versus modern star, past versus present. That dream was just 2 games away. Disappointed face the collapse. 6 games straight. Then everything unraveled. Venus began showing signs of fatigue, shorter rallies, slower recovery, unforced errors on key points. Danilovic sensed the moment. She played freely. She attacked relentlessly. She refused to miss. Game by game, the lead disappeared. From 4-0, Venus lost 1 game. Then another. Then another. Backhand index pointing right. Danilovic won 6 consecutive games. Final set score. Danilovic 6-4 final match score. Olga Danilovic def. Venus Williams 7-6, 5, 3-6, 6. For the stadium fell quiet. Checkered flag. No Gauff versus Williams showdown. With Venus's loss, the highly anticipated clash against Coco Gauff officially disappeared. Instead, Backhand index pointing right. Coco Gauff will face Olga Danilovic. Fans were left wondering, what if Venus had closed it out? What if those last two games had gone differently? Trophy history still made. Despite the loss, Venus Williams walked away with history. She became the oldest singles competitor in Australian Open history. When asked about the record, Venus responded, "I hadn't thought about it until it was mentioned in the press. So yay, let's do this." That single quote perfectly captured her spirit. Red Heart legacy beyond the scoreline. This match was never just about a win or a loss. It was about longevity, courage, passion, refusing to fade quietly. Venus Williams reminded the world why her name still matters. She proved, age does not erase greatness. Rankings do not define legends. Respect is eternal. Crystal ball, what's next for Venus? At 45, questions naturally arise. Is this her final Australian Open? Will she continue playing? Is retirement looming? Venus has not given clear answers, and perhaps she doesn't need to. Because on that court in Melbourne, she already gave tennis fans something priceless. Belief. Venus Williams may have lost the match. She may have missed the Coco Gauff showdown. But she won something bigger. She won hearts. She won respect. She won history. And in a sport obsessed with youth and speed, she reminded us all, legends never disappear, they endure. Make sure you subscribe to USA News Hub United States. More breaking news. More powerful stories. More champions. Coming your way. See you soon.